A lot can happen between falling in love with a house online and owning it, between imagining living there and breathing in your new home for the first time. Having an advocate who can help you navigate the complex world of financing, inspections, negotiating, analyzing the market, and talking through any anxieties that may pop up, that can make all the difference. That's what the expertise of a Realtor can do for you. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors and bound by a code of ethics, because that's who we are.
Price drop? Time to shop. Get to a Nordstrom Rack store today for first dibs on new markdowns. Now score even more, up to 70% off brands everyone loves at Nordstrom Rack. Denim, dresses, sneakers, tops, and more. Plus, get genius deals on jackets, sweaters, and boots for the whole family. Shop your Nordstrom Rack store today and save up to 70% with new markdowns. But hurry, deals this great won't last.
Today is the day you will lose fat. Come see Dr. T at NJ Diet.
Easiest diet I've ever done. It's changed my life. Come see Dr. T.
Using blood work and DNA testing. 1-855-5-NJ-DIET and NJDiet.com. Change your life in only 40 days with NJ Diet.
Albany, Georgia artist, mass appeal artist, new EP just dropped, Devil Never Even Lived.
Yes, sir.
He's Cantrell, and I want to welcome him to the library with Tim Einenkel. Thanks, man.
Hey, man.
Sure. Yeah, of course. Yeah. Hey, great meeting you, man. Really enjoyed the new album. You say Albany, and for me, I'm from New York, so I'm going to say Albany, New York, right? But no, it's Albany, Georgia. So what is, for people who don't know, what is the Albany, Georgia hip-hop scene like?
What is it like now? What
was it like when you were growing up?
It was amazing when I was growing up. And it's getting back to that space. It's just a lot more out there now. Just like any other climate of music. You know, like you had your guys a couple of guys owned a niche at one point. And then now in this, I guess what they call it the new golden era, like we have so many artists. It's the same thing. Like it's kicked off with Phil Mob, I think, as far as hip hop goes. We had guys like Big Nod, Dog Brown and Drew, Therapy, Randy G. We had a lot of, soulful and street guys. And that was really it. It was either soulful or it was street. But it was all inspirational, just watching those guys hustle, grind, and get after it every day. And it's very inspiring nonetheless, for sure.
I know you have obviously you have Atlanta near you.
Yeah. That's like the hub for
the hub. Is the situation with a I'm going to say a non-Atlanta MC, right? Is how it works is that you have to leave Albany, Georgia to make, quote unquote, make it, or can you do enough, you think, within Albany, Georgia?
It's a balance of both. I don't think you have to move. A lot of people think you have to move. And I think that's what's beautiful about my story and building with Mischief Boy is I didn't have to move. I just had to move around and put my face in different places. So I had to put my face in Atlanta for like 2 years and perform there as much as possible to build a certain foundation, and eventually having to fly to LA with him and work with him for a month, or months at a time. And I think you don't have to move. You just need to move around. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can make it being from Albany, but just sitting there trying to work on a computer, like doing the Twitter fingers or what have you, it's not going to work. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to get out. You got to move. People got to see your face. Like, we're a small city. We don't have resources. We don't know what a resource look like if it slapped us in the face. So you got to move around, man. And I think that's what is a testament to what it's like to try to come out of a city like that, a small town.
When did you get into, how old were you when you discovered or even got into hip hop and rap? Were you quote unquote late in the game, or was it from birth? Or
I would say from birth. Like, my mom is a big hip hop, R&B, and soul woman. So the other genres I found on my own later, but she was always playing Biggie in the house, always playing Outkast, always playing Goody Mob. You know what I'm saying? Those are like some of the ones I can remember always being played in the house.
Nice.
Or like if it's guys next door, you know what I'm saying? Like, I always want to hang out with the cool guys that were in the hood with you. Like, you're the younger kid, they're the older guys. Oh, hopefully they'll let me hang around them, and they're playing the same thing. So, I I say real early, man. And of course, trying to find my own way when I started trying to do music, trying to figure out, all right, how do I study this thing? Like, how do I get good at this? How do I do what the guys I was listening to did? You know what I'm saying?
Why for you? I mean, you read up on you listen to your album, you listen to your discography. Watch your freestyle on Sway. You're obviously a very talented person. Why was it rap? Why do you think rap was your kind of calling?
Ooh,
as an art form?
Man, I think that's an answer neither of us will know until all of this is over, to be honest with you. Not to get all, those answers.
Right.
You know, those answers that at a certain point in somebody's career, those are all the answers every time they answer a question, that's the type of answer you get. It's like, dog, you don't give me a parable with every answer. Not to get too parably. I just think that's an answer. I don't think either of us will know why, because I came in also as a b-boy and a skater. So it's like, why wasn't I jam skating the whole time? Why wasn't that my initial calling? You know what I'm saying? Like, why wasn't that the engine? Why is rap the engine and skating and b-boying are other parts of the car? Like, I don't know. I just know it was my calling. And I just know I was called to do it, and I was called to move everything else to the side that would get in the way. How I know.
You talk about b-boying, you talk about jam skating. How do you think those? How have those played a role in your art?
In art?
Your art. I mean, how do you? I mean, you obviously take lessons from those, right?
Yeah, for sure.
When you look at yourself as an MC, and you kind of look back to being a b-boy or a jam skater, how do you think those have helped influence kind of who you are as an artist?
Yeah, I think the confidence that it takes to be a b-boy, and I don't mean confidence as far as like self-esteem. It's also just the tone that b-boys come with when they represent. That's the thing. You know what I'm saying? Represent. Like we were rocking last night, me and a couple other b-boys at the Warrior, the Cinemax premiere. Well, it wasn't a premiere, it was a screening, but a couple of us started rocking, and every time we walked over to each other, hug each other, hey, way to represent, way to represent, way to represent. Representing is the thing. So you represent yourself, where you're from, and your crew. And there's a confidence that comes with that. And in soundscapes, just learning how to appreciate different things, like aside from b-boying, we know what that soundscape is like, but jam skating, it was mainly southern bass music and EDM, early EDM music. So if you were going to jam skate, that's what you had to get into, because that's what everybody's skating to. That's what the competitive soundscape is like. So just learning how to appreciate different things, and it just opened my mind a little more. So I think it prepared me to be able to take leaps and jumps and get out of Albany and try to move around, because most people are scared to, but I think that opened my mind enough early. It's like, oh, I didn't have to leave the city yet to see there's something else out there. I was able to do it through music.
When do you know, you go from b-boying, you go from jam skating, you go to becoming an MC. I always joke that I've tried to write a rhyme, but I'm so bad at it that I have not done that yet. But when did you know that this was it? Like, this was the final part of the engine, I guess to say, where, do you remember what kind of the lyric that you might have written, or just kind of that damn, I'm great type shit?
Man, I think it came in pieces. I think eventually, like, I did like a freestyle over Drake and Lil Wayne's Ransom record, and I was like, oh, I'm actually getting good. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, we might be able to turn up with this. I was in college, trying to move around, get my stuff off, trying to learn how to put music out online and things of that nature and promote it and whatever. And that was one of the times. Another time was I did a collab project with my brother. He's a producer also. His name is David Luke. And it caught the eyes of Ali Shaheed, the actor Romani Malco, and a number of other people. And I was like, oh, wait, we may really be able to do this. But it wasn't until I was forced to drop out of college that it hit me like, oh, not only will I be able to do this and possibly be successful at it, but I'm meant to. That was when it was like, oh, this is the engine. And everything else just has to, like, work also, of course. You know what I'm saying? Like, you need your transmission. You need a gear shift and a steering wheel to drive. But without the engine, But I think that's when I figured I was an engine, when I was like, I figured out, oh, my bad, God. I'm getting my own way. Let me, that's when I figured it out.
What's the favorite right now? What's your favorite aspect of being an MC?
I'm gonna say performing, because I get to connect with people, and at this stage in my career, I can walk out in the crowd and hold conversation as long as we want, and just hearing different people's how they connected or different people's story, whatever they want to talk about that night. That's exciting to me. 'Cause I'm getting pieces of these other cities beyond looking at them. I'm talking to the people that live there, or they're from there, they're born there. You know what I'm saying? So I say performing is my favorite part right now.
So I want to talk about just quickly talk about your selection of music.
Yeah.
You kind of, you listen to your album and I think I was telling you prior to our interview how it's a diverse musical album.
Thank you.
And even lyrically, it's diverse in that way. So, how do you select album? How do you select music? How do you make sure that it's not going to all of it's not going to sound the same, but at the same time, like you mentioned before, it's going to tie in a way?
I think it starts from feel for me. Like when I'm at my best at picking things, I'm picking off a feel. Like, it's something that I can't explain. That's why sometimes it's hard to explain what sound I want, because I can explain the sound I want, but if it's not executed in a way where it strikes a chord with me, I have to search for some other things. Like if I know a beat is hard and I can see what I can do to it, I still pick it, and I'll work through it. But it starts with feel. I can choose from feel, and I think, like you said, having some diversity but tying everything together comes with just being authentic and genuine. Mm-hmm. Like as long as I'm being true to myself, as diverse as it can be, there are going to be some time factors because it's me, at the end of the day. Like Mischief Boy can send me 100 different beats, 100 different styles, but as long as I'm being myself on them, there's going to be a time factor in there, I believe, somewhere, just by default of me being myself.
Mm. Yeah, I remember there's you talk about feel. It's interesting. I remember I interviewed DJ Newmark from Jurassic 5, and he was just doing years ago. He was doing an album with Slim Kid Trey from Farside.
Yeah.
And I asked him, like, how do you pick
a little flex right there, but
yeah. Sorry, I got to pick the names off the floor. But it was interesting about feel because it kind of reassured in a way of like when, for example, if I'm producing a podcast. He talked about how, like, I was like, how do you know this song is going to do, how do you know this beat should work here? And he's like, it's about feel. Yeah. It's like I'm producing a song and then like, hey, I wasn't playing on it, but this frog sound, that type of stuff. So interesting to talk about feel.
He does it too. Like, not even just me as the rapper. Like, there'll be sounds he'll tell me later. Sometimes he'll tell me, you didn't hear it, but I did this. I added this from these other beats and I tucked it. And it's like, oh, so that's why that felt, he does it as a producer too. He's the second producer, so it's like, it goes on both sides. But my bad, continue.
No. There was nothing there. It was so obviously you're part of Mass Appeal. Tell me about the Mass Appeal Starting 5 tour.
Oh man, we say it's the realest rap tour ever because it was just so hip hop, man. Like, we're freestyling every day. Even some of us that weren't used to freestyling as much and as often around people.
Right.
We're freestyling every day. We're connecting with each other every day. We're sharing our stories, our come-ups. Then we're just in the trenches together. And then we go out there and we give 100% every night, whether it's 5 people or 500 people in the crowd. That was just amazing, man. It was some fun times. It was work, but it was worth it. Like, that's what I believe work is. I don't think, when people say if you do something you love, you'll never work a day in your life. Right. It's still work, my guy. It's just worth it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't feel like it in the end. But day to day, like, you can, it weighs down on you, but it's fun. Like, you want it to weigh down on you. You know what I'm saying? I think all of us shared that on the road together. Like, me, Esri, 070 Fee, Stro, and Fashion, the OG, like, and DJ Fresh too. Like, we all shared, I think, that common thread, and I think that's why the tour was so amazing for us.
Was there stuff that you learned about yourself as a kind of an artist that you didn't really realize before?
Yeah, I didn't know. I knew I had this thing that I can turn it on when I get out my own way, I didn't know I could at that level. Like we're coming off the top. I didn't know I could tap into that that way. You know what I'm saying? To that extent. I didn't know that I knew I loved performing, but I didn't know I would fall in love with it again that way. I thought awesome. I would just love this. I love to perform, and that's what I'm going to do. I didn't know that I would hit a new level with my love for being on that stage. You know what I'm saying? What else did I learn as an artist? I don't know. There's a lot. I'm still processing it too. Right. You know, so it's like, I guess we can live with those two for right now.
You know, obviously, when you think of Mass Appeal Records, you think of Nas. What influence did Nas have on you as an artist, kind of growing as a kid, growing up? And you talked about your mom playing all these records.
Right. I got on Nas later, as far as like growing up goes. I think I didn't really get a chance to dive into Nas records until college, early college. And that's what a lot of artists that I found to, put in my playlist or what have you. You know what I'm saying? Whatever you want to, iPod, I don't know, Walkman, whatever it was. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But as I always knew his legend, I always respected his legacy and his legend and what he did. I just didn't get the deep dive until then. And I think what I carry from that was painting a picture, a vivid picture, bringing people into your world where you're from. You know what I'm saying? Like him being able to make people feel like they're from Queens in some way. You know what I'm saying? Like just, man, it's like you can smell the things he's talking about.
Right.
And storytelling, like painting vivid pictures and storytelling and bringing people to your world, even when you can try to appeal to people outside of where you're from. I think that's one of the main things I got from him, because I think he's probably one of the best at it in music to me across all genres. So I'd say that's the main thing I got from him.
I want to turn to some of your music, a quote-unquote older EP, Stardust Angels on the track OMW. I might butcher this, so I apologize in advance.
It's all good.
Man,
go for it.
You spit, they say the eyes are the windows to the soul. I've been looking out these windows, pain, searching for more, pondering on these things I never told. With the fear of my lone name, they'll never know. And frankly, the small town thing is getting old. I've been trying harder and harder to break the mold, battling with who I want to be and who I'm supposed to be. I got to kill one or other for me to grow. Can you talk about the meaning behind these lyrics, but more particularly two lines? Frankly, the small town thing is getting old, and battling with who I want to be and who I'm supposed to be. Who do you want to be and who are you supposed to be?
I think I'm trying to be now who I'm supposed to be. And I think that just comes with acceptance. Accepting your calling, accepting your purpose, and finding what that purpose is, I guess, first and foremost. Like, searching for that light inside and figuring out how to let it shine. Who I wanted to be was this kid that could just push all his other talents to the side and make people focus on the fact that he can rap. But who I was supposed to be was the rapper that used to jam skating as a b-boy. The rapper that loves to go to the skating rink. You know what I'm saying? Like, he can drop bars on the radio, but he's gonna skate with the kids too. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wanted to be, I wanted to put those things in the back seat. But who I was supposed to be was bring them to the forefront. And maybe there's a kid that's like, you know what? I didn't know other rappers were doing this. Most rappers, I want to do these things too. They open up a business, or they start a clothing line, or they get a liquor. Kids need to see something else to know that, there's a whole world of stars out there. You know what I'm saying? Like, you really don't realize how many stars in the sky until you look up and the sky is clear. I guess I just was supposed to clear the sky for some kids. You know what I'm saying?
That's dope. Yeah. Turn to the new EP, Devil Never Even Lied. Quickly, what's the Live? I am fucking not even speaking. But no, see, in English today. I like it. I'm starting to like when that happens, because there's another component to that too. Like, it's what you would call an oxymoron or a paradox. What would you call it? To say that the devil never lied and he's the biggest liar of them all. Like, I think I'm starting to like when it's said like that, because it's like, okay, let's play with that too. But yeah. just talk about the meaning behind the title, the correct title, not the one that I'm butchering.
Devil Never Even Lived. First off, should we? Yeah. Okay, cool. So first off, it's a palindrome, and that's intentional. I'll say that. And it's been dope to see people figure it out, like early too. It's like, oh man, that's a crazy palindrome, and now they're like trying to figure out why. And but Devil Never Even Lived is, I think it speaks to what you go through is not who you are, but it helps shape who you are. Like if someone's battling with depression or anxiety, or they have these other vices they're battling, or they made bad decisions here, bad decisions there, they're not those things. Like you're not your sadness, you're not just your happiness, but those hills and valleys, they do help shape the person that you come to be today. And that's what the title is, and that's essentially what the backbone of the entire project is for.
On the track Memories Never Die, you spit, I lost my voice, I'm the voice of the city, I got it back, I'm a natural treasure. You read that lyric and actually the entire verse, and you realize like you put a lot of pressure on yourself. It seems. I mean, how much pressure do you put on your city? Do you put on yourself to represent kind of where you're from?
I think it's give and take. So I think in the way that I see myself and how I want to be is where I put the pressure on myself. Like always striving to be greater and be better than I was before. But as far as the city, that's more of me just accepting that calling and accepting what my purpose may be. And like, as far as like, I lost my voice, I'm the voice of the city. Like I literally, in a sense, I lost my voice at one point. I had some vocal cord issues that I was like battling through, and by the grace of God, I came through, and I was able to turn around, make this new project, go on a tour for 30 days and be fine, come back through South by Southwest, come back, talk to you, and feel great. Yes. But that's a literal flip on something I literally lost. And like that was one of the things I was afraid, man, in the sense I'm like, yo, like what is going on with me? Like, why is this happening? I'm supposed to be doing all this, like, how am I going to do this? And this is going on.
Right.
That pressure, but that's me, just knowing my purpose and what my purpose may be, and finally accepting that. But they say Michael Jordan, you didn't want to give him a challenge, because if you did, you were gonna get the beast.
Right.
It's better to just be quiet, let him rock. You know what I'm saying? Let him get his quietly. But if you give him a challenge, he gonna drop. You're gonna get a flu game. You know what I'm saying? Like he loved those challenges, and I think I do too. So. In real life, I guess when I think about it, the pressure kind of gets heavy, but when the lights come on, or it's time to practice and it's time to go into training, or it's time to go play the game, it's just another challenge that I welcome and I accept.
Does MCing bring more challenges to you that you are not willing to accept, but that you're going to rise above than going back to b-boying, or even jam skating? I mean, does it kind of like, I feel like that challenge, like you're able to reach into some part of your artistic brain that is not there yet and pull it out. I mean, is that, do you think that's the case with MCing?
I do. I really do. I can see it even when we're doing press runs or whatever, and I have to, and it's time to rap, for instance, like, being able to pull lyrics out of thin air in between what I may have written or have written, like for cypher verses or what have you, like just seeing, just being nervous about that ahead of time, because I'm a performer. I want to perform well no matter where I'm at. Even talking to you, I want to be articulate. I want to get my ideas out the way they are intended. I want to give you what you want, what you need. You know what I'm saying? So that pressure, come back to pressure again, but it's like, seeing it happen lets me know, okay, if I just do these things that I, like you said, going back, if I just do these things like I did in football, if I prepare the way I did in football, if I do this or I do that, I can overcome them. You know what I'm saying? Whatever I may be nervous about or afraid of or see that might be a challenge, like, it just reminds me that I can overcome it if I just do certain things. Yeah, for sure. So I definitely go back into those tanks, like when you have to turn it on. And it's like, okay, what did I do to turn it on? What did I turn on? What button did I push? Which button is it? Because everybody has a button.
Right. Yeah.
It's just figuring out where's the button. You know what I'm saying? And when to push it.
You in your music, you talk about challenges of artists that are able to, like, who obviously are pushing their buttons and becoming incredible artists. In the track "Memories Never Die," you mentioned Biggie, Nas, and Jay-Z.
Yeah.
And you already kind of talked about the influence they've had on you.
Yeah.
What if you were to quickly think of like one Biggie song, one Nas song, one Jay-Z song that kind of said to you, yeah, this is my go-to song. You know what I'm saying? What would those 3 songs be?
Man, sheesh. Biggie song for me would be maybe, I'm gonna try to mix it up. A Biggie song would be either You're Nobody Till Somebody Kills You, or I'd go, is it Miss You? Is it Miss You? Is that the name of it?
Which one?
It's got 112 on it.
Yeah.
I Miss You with
nice.
112, for feeling, like being able to, like, okay, that's how I make people feel this. Strike a chord with somebody that, like, we're striking a chord with me. Jay-Z, I'm gonna say The Watcher.
Nice.
Because that's the one I would go to for, like, oh, snap. All right, so this is, I used to practice that verse.
Nice.
You know what I'm saying? I used to practice that verse. Well, The Watcher too, on Gift and a Curse.
Where I'm From is for me, for Jay-Z.
Which one?
Where I'm From.
Really?
That's like, I think, one of the most incredible songs. In terms of storytelling. In terms of storytelling.
I'm just trying to mix it up a little bit. And I'm
yeah. You're right. I'm totally not doing
No, you're right. Nas, I'm gonna give you a new one because I just discovered my favorite Nas verse, and it's on the Nostradamus album. What's the song? Life We Chose. Yeah, the second verse of Life We Chose. Because of the way he, again, to me, painted this picture of love and hate, and the way he did it, I was like, okay, I found what I think is my favorite Nas verse. So, painting pictures, striking chords with feeling, and the skill. Those 3 things.
Nice. You said you discovered Nas late. I mean, you said what was the first album you listened to by Nas? Was it Illmatic or?
Which one was it? As far as diving in myself?
Yeah, I mean, because I feel like
I want to say it was Written.
Nice.
Because I think I was listening to a Lupe interview, and he said that was his favorite Nas album. I thought, you know what, let me dive in and see why. Right? And then I was like, nah, it can't be better than Illmatic, though. So that's the one I dove into, like, oh, let me study this. I knew Illmatic. So it's like, can't be better than Illmatic. Listen to Illmatic, again, diving in. So, it's just different when I'm diving in and when I listen to it in passing. And I was like, you know what? It Was Written might be my favorite Nas album.
Right.
But I don't know if that's because I dove into that first or what, but yeah.
Because I feel like there's so I mean, for me, Illmatic was the first Nas album I heard, and then I think for a lot of people, we put Illmatic up there, way, and
as it should.
So when anything else came out by him, we're like, oh fuck, that shit sucked, like even though in hindsight, It Was Written's a great album,
right?
So you obviously being mass appeal artist, being Nas label, if you look at that, the Illmatic example, when you go into any of your albums, how do you look at what you did before and set a bar that you're supposed to go over, or do you even actually not to say not care, but do you just kind of like, that was a different project, now this is something else?
It's a little bit of both. So like I do set that bar, so it's, you always want your next to be better than what you did before in some kind of way. But then learning after studying the game, in a lot of ways that's impossible. Like you saying, like you said you might like It Was Written better than Illmatic, right?
I do like Illmatic better than It Was Written, because my favorite song is Halftime.
Facts.
But I do think, but when It Was Written first came out,
right.
I was like, this is no Illmatic.
Yeah. Okay.
And then But in hindsight, you're like, well, no, it was written as a great album.
That's what. I misinterpreted. But so I use Lupe then. So like for him to say it was written is better than Illmatic, it's so hard for people to say To Pimp a Butterfly was better than Good Kid.
Right.
And it's so hard for people to say In Utero. I know it's not the first and second, but In Utero was better than Nevermind.
Right.
And you know what I'm saying? But I have a homeboy that he loves In Utero. I'm a Nevermind guy. It's hard. And you realize, like, at some point you don't want to put that kind of pressure on yourself, but at the end of the day, you do want to strive to be better. And I think that's just always just being conscious of where you at with it, and being conscious that it does need to be different. You do need to do different things than you did before, but at the same time, be yourself. So it's a little bit of both, I think, for me. Yeah.
The track Roses off the EP, it's really, when I listen to it, and I listened to it like 5 times in a row, it was really, really a chance to kind of invite your fans and even listeners that don't know you into your life. It's a very heavy and also emotional track. Yeah. Can you talk a little about this track? But what does this writing process do for you, with especially something like this, mentally? And
I'll work backwards. The writing process, writing something like Roses was therapeutic. I faced some things that I didn't know I needed to face. I didn't know I had some fear still. I didn't know the things I was saying towards the end of the second verse. And it's just therapeutic for me. It let me get some of those things off and face them, like look at them dead in the eyes and accept them. And then on the other end, I was able to reface them when I recorded it. I cried writing it in the studio. We recorded it later. We tracked it out later and cried again. So it's very therapeutic. It is, man, what was the first part of the question? Because I'm thinking about all the memories, so it's like I lost the first part of your question.
No, exactly. I mean, talk about the track, but also what does the writing process do for you?
Yeah. My bad too. It's a heavy record, and I'm like reliving a lot of stuff, but this time with a smile.
Nice.
Yeah, it's very therapeutic, and the record Roses is I think the background of the title for me came from when not my biological dad, but my pops, when I was rapping about in the second verse. Usually when you go to a funeral, you pick up the rose, you lay it on the casket.
Right.
We picked up our rose, and they were like, this is for all his kids. This is his last gift to you. So even after his passing, he found a way to give us our roses while we can still smell them.
It's amazing.
And so basically all I wanted from whatever people feel from the record, I also just wanted them to realize, it's important to give people their roses while you can. And even if you can't, it's still important to give them, because somebody, energy, it just transfers. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't really die.
Right.
So somewhere something can feel what you're putting into the universe. So it's just important to give people their roses, man. Whatever else people take from the record, that's what they're supposed to get. But I just wanted that to get cut through too.
So that's good. I mean, because to this, I hate when people say "to be honest," but to be honest, when I first saw the track titled "Roses," I actually thought, I was like, "Oh, I hope this is a track about giving people their roses," while they,
right? Because
that's the whole thing, right? It's like we always wait till they're dead to give them praises. Mm-hmm. In your album, you there's a voice, and it's the voice of your uncle.
Yeah. Uncle Mike.
Uncle Mike. Who is Uncle Mike, and
who is Uncle Mike?
And how does he play? What is he playing? What role does he play in your music?
Uncle Mike is Uncle Mike, man. Uncle Mike is Uncle Mike. He is him, through and through. What role does he play in my music? Thinking about who Uncle Mike is, I say a very important role. Plays a very important role in my music because he plays a very important role in my life. Yeah.
Okay.
Uncle Mike. That's as far as I think we can go, Uncle Mike.
You have this complete EP.
Uncle Mike really plays a very important role in your life too. You just
Haven't figured out yet.
Didn't figure it out yet. Man, Uncle Mike play a whole role in this whole thing, man. This whole thing we call existence. Uncle Mike, man. Uncle Mike ain't never lied.
All right.
I tell you who he is.
Off the record.
Yeah.
Lastly, you look at your EP. What do you think? Well, two questions. What track do you think best represents kind of the purpose behind this album? But also, what track represents where you are as an artist?
I say the track that best represents the purpose of the album would be Way Back.
Nice.
Because it takes you back before this point. Stardust to Angels was a bookmark of my life, ages 26 to 27, really, and those experiences, how they made me feel, how I processed them. This was going back before then, and showing you how the person I came to be was able to make Stardust to Angels. Like, this is me. For people that knew me or were my fans before, they get a deeper dive. People that never knew me, they have something to latch on to. And I think Way Back is a great representation of that. Artist I am now, what would you say, like, Know It's Wrong, 4-letter word? Yeah. Because we found some things in making those records. Yeah. Yeah. I say, which one, though? I got to pick one.
Two could work.
Two can work?
Two could work.
I won't say 4-letter word. I'll say Know It's Wrong and Understand. I'll say those two.
Nice.
Yeah, for sure.
I hate to follow up with this, but
let's do it.
No. I'm actually I got nothing. Anyway, no. So what? I mean, what's next for you? What is the? This is done. I mean, are you writing another? Are you already writing or thinking ahead to the next project? Or
yeah, we're always thinking ahead to the next project. Always. I'm even thinking about backups just in case I need to do something else before that. But the goal is always to build to your debut, your thing. You know what I'm saying? So every artist knows what they want that to be. You know what I'm saying? Almost their whole lives, and it just evolves and reshapes over time. But so we're always thinking about that. We're thinking ahead on that now, and I'm also thinking about what I may have to do in between time. Like, if we're not there yet, want to do something else for fun, want to do this, want to do that, whatever we may want to do, just thinking of backup plans at the same time. Well, I shouldn't say backup plans. I should say just other
plans.
Yeah, just other lanes in this road for this journey that we on. What's also next? I would love to tour at least one more time this year. I think we will. I believe we will, I'll say. And just continuing to connect with people, whether it's like we're gonna go live. I'm gonna try to go live more on my IG. I don't know, just little things to connect with people, put more music out maybe here and there.
What's the IG?
Oh, my IG?
Yeah.
Oh, I am
know
Cantrell.
what IG is.
Oh, facts. Oh, yeah. My Instagram is I am Cantrell. I don't know, may try to take over other people's Instagram some days. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know who would let me. I don't want to throw no names out there, but if you want me to take over your IG, I will. Not no regular people though. You know what I'm saying? Like, not people like us, regular people. We need like Stussy, Nike or Adidas. Who else? What's a Jordan Jumpman 223 IG account? You know what I'm saying? Holla at us, man. You know what I'm saying? We'll take over for a day. Who else? Who's another account? Take over y'all account for a day. It don't matter, man. We take over everybody IG. If you got IG, let me take it for like a day. Let me take it for a day. But no, man, we just want to keep pushing content, keep connecting with people, and the end goal is to at least tour again, because that's a big way I've seen to connect with people and just get in front of people's faces, and they can't escape you. You know what I'm saying? Yes. Yeah.
New EP, Devil Never Even Lived.
Yes,
artist is Cantrell. Mass Appeal, Albany, Georgia.
229, stand up.
Thanks, man, for being on the Library with Tim Einenkel. Been appreciated.
But no, I appreciate it, man.
There are any number of reasons you might consider selling your home. To move closer to family, live within a smaller budget, or just wanting a change of scenery. Whatever your reasons, having to figure out all the various housing market trends in your area may not be what you signed up for. That's where an agent who is a realtor comes in. Realtors have the expertise to help you find the right price and navigate the process to sell your home in a way that's right for you. That's who we are. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors.
Want to make Mom's day? Get to your Nordstrom Rack now and score amazing deals for Mother's Day, which is Sunday, May 12th. Find tons of gifts from only $30 at Nordstrom Rack. Fragrance, jewelry, luxury bags, activewear, beauty, and more. Save on Kate Spade New York, Stuart Weitzman, and Ted Baker London. Great brands, great prices. So shop your Nordstrom Rack store today and treat Mom to the good stuff from just $30.